Hi, Bill. It's so nice to see you. Oh, I missed you. It's so nice to see you.
Hi, Courtney. Yes, I missed you too. Yeah, it
What?
seems like such a long time, but it's only been a week that we missed.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's been 2 weeks because I think we would, if we missed a week, then
Right.
it's been 2 weeks since I've actually got to see your beautiful,
That's true.
happy face.
Yes,
And
too.
I'll say, I just showed my daughter a picture of you. First of all, you're gorgeous. And then it's so funny because I was like, and you're so gorgeous younger. And I showed my daughter that you were with Nancy Myers, and she's like, you have to explain Courtney because she like loves Nancy Myers. And I was like, he's so cool. And then she's like, and then one of them was like, he's so gorgeous. And I was like, yeah, I wonder if you knew. Like, I wonder, this is what I keep thinking about, right? This is what I keep thinking about it. If I could have appreciated what I look like at 20, if I could appreciate what I look like at 30, then if I could appreciate what I look like at 40 and now, can I appreciate what I look like now? Because so many times we could look back and be like, wow, we were pretty attractive and we don't even appreciate it.
Yes. Yes, you're so right. I think that's a I think that's pretty common idea with people.
Yeah, but I think we better start appreciating it because it's
Yes,
I don't know. I wonder if we don't start to like ourselves, can we expect other people to like us?
right. Appreciate ourselves as much as other people appreciate us. Because when people say they appreciate us, how much can we believe it if we don't fully appreciate ourselves?
Yeah. Or do we hear like we so I was talking to about this in some ways, is it easier to hear the bad things, right? So I could say 10 nice things to you and maybe hear the one nice thing that I don't say, and then we focus on that. So are we even actually hearing the nice things about ourselves? I actually don't know if we are.
Boy, I think you really hit the nail on the head for me about that because I can obsess about that. The one imagined slight, whatever might have been said, might have not been intended the way that I received it. I can, again, I have to go back to, you know, somebody speaks from their heart and it goes through so many filters. It goes through their mouth, it goes through the atmosphere, it goes to my ear, it goes to my mind to get back to my heart. So it has to go through all these filters. And my particular filters on a particularly given day, given my history or whatever mood I might be in, it's the message gets confused. It's I lose the intent of the message, or
Well,
it's
like the
possible that I could.
it's like the telephone game, right? So I
Yes,
could whisper in your ear and then it could go around and it will come back to me. And so are you actually even hearing what someone says? Are we hearing what people say?
right, right,
Because of our own perceivements of things.
exactly. It's really, I think it's just a very human dilemma. It's just an ongoing dilemma. But I do think that if people continue to speak from their heart, then there's not they're not focused on, how it might be perceived or how it might be delivered because that's out of their control. They'll just continue to speak from their heart. Just keep putting it out there.
Yeah, I think it's hard though. I
Yeah,
think I think it's hard for us as humans to keep our heart open enough to speak from our heart because we're so scared of getting hurt, right? So let's say if I am love and then I doesn't respond back, or if I can't this is my thing, if I can't control what you think, think you're going to perceive it however you perceive it, and oh, that's where it hurts, right? So it is. I do think we have to practice speaking from our hearts, but it's not an easy feat. It's not an easy feat.
right. And I think that we look towards our artists, our performing artists, our singers and our musicians to express the things in our heart that we have trouble sharing. And I'm sure you've experienced this when you've heard someone sing a song. It will put you in a timeless dimension where you're just surrounded by that emotion. And it's love, but it's heartbreak, it's hope, it's tenderness, it's, you know, happy memories of things past, all those things. And the voice of a singer or musician tunes you into that frequency. And suddenly you feel like you're awash. You're all emotion because your heart is opening. And then the song ends and you perform, and then we go back, we go back to our egos and our the responsibilities we have to live responsibly.
Oh, but I love music. I think it's so funny because we went to a wedding and there was a band. There was a band at the wedding. They were playing. They were amazing. I mean, you talk about talent, right? That there was talent, and you think about that, right? You go to a wedding and they're playing happy music and there's joy. And I thought, well, why is there just not music everywhere? There used to be music in elevators, right? They like you used to go into an elevator, they would play music for you. You would sit in
Mhm.
the doctor's office, they would have music playing. There was like, I think there's something interesting. I wonder, it's like our vibrations have lowered in some ways, and then all around, we're not tuning into that frequency of love and music and joy.
Right.
But yes, music does, it's like a time warp. It could bring you back to that moment in time. I keep on playing the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide. And it just gets me in a really good mood.
Right.
It's like, how could you be in a bad mood if you're singing I'm excited? I wonder what year that was made and why she was so excited and why it worked so well.
Yeah, it's great when I hear a song that I haven't heard in a very long time because my mind goes right back to who I was and what I was doing when that song was popular, and it just brings up almost an overload of memories and feelings. Like I was a completely different person then, and I would look back and think, you know what? I did a pretty good job, it was a struggle, and I was guessing at most of the things I was doing. I
But
wasn't
aren't you still
sure.
guessing? But aren't you
Yes,
still, I mean,
exactly.
no one really knows, but I mean, in a
Right.
way, isn't it just guessing? I used to listen to songs. Did you do this? Because when I was younger, and I actually still do, I like listen to songs over and over and over again. So I had like one tape I would listen to or like one CD. And so it does very much bring back time blocks. And I do think that I'm so different, but then there's a part of me that's like, okay, there's still there's still a part of you that's probably was exactly who you are, this divine soul that's kind of very gentle and kind and loving and nice. And that has brought you through probably all your moments in time, don't you think?
Yes. My, I think that, the my soul, or the me within me, as I call it, was speaking to me, but it speaks to me very quietly, and I have to be quiet enough to hear it, or relaxed enough, or not on guard enough, or tense enough, or anxious enough. If I'm too anxious or too hyped up or too in my ego, I don't hear it. I'm not getting it's not getting through.
But does music, so this is an interesting question. So maybe when you listen to music, it has a way of getting you out of your mind and maybe, just maybe back in the day, it allowed you to make decisions from a higher place. So even though it might not be the way you do it now through yoga or through
Mhm.
meditation or
Mhm.
writing or whatever, however you
Mhm.
do it, maybe the
Mhm.
music was the catalyst for your shifts.
I think it was anything heart related, I think was what I was following ultimately.
Wait, you understand that like today is actually a very interesting day because it's a Leo moon. And it is all about, Leo is all about the heart. It's all about performers. It's music. And so it is interesting that you're talking about that. It's about art and it's about creativity. And you're saying, when I do things like that, it opens my heart. So I just think it's a very perfect day. I'm getting today this will be uploaded because I feel like there's a message in just the fact that we're at this kind of very powerful moon day. It
Interesting.
is the moon's day. It is in Leo. And think about what you said, the heart, music, art,
Mhm.
letting you doing things that opened your heart. And I you go back to, like, do you know Esther Hicks? Do you know Abraham Hicks?
Is it? Yeah, yes. Isn't she on YouTube?
Yeah, no, so she, I think in the 80s, her and her husband, she wanted to understand what channeling was. And so she started, Esther Hicks, like a normal woman, becomes a channel and for the divine, for the angels, but for something called Abraham. And what she talked about was how to set your tuner into the vibration you want. And she's like, it's like a radio station. The radio station, you can only get the radio station when the tuner is tuned to that frequency. And so when you listen to music or when you're doing things that open your heart, your frequency rises, you'll feel good and you'll make higher choices. Oh, but and she was like on Oprah like in 1990. And I was thinking, we didn't understand. It's like it's the same thing with Gary Zukav was on Oprah. Right? At the seat of our soul, which was amazing. We
Yes.
could not fathom what these people were saying, really.
Hmm.
We were going in blindly, but now we could see it and we totally understand what they're saying. So I think something about, are we all just guessing anyway?
Yeah. But it's interesting that you mentioned that they're speaking they're speaking about heart-centered ideas and higher vibration. And for me, when I was younger, that I wasn't familiar with that, and I was suspect of it because it didn't resonate with me at all. So I'm grateful now that I'm at a point where what they're talking about
Or they
does make
were talking about 30, 40 years ago. I mean, this is 30 years ago.
but it makes sense to me now. It doesn't feel foreign or confusing to me. I get what they're talking about, which I'm I'm very grateful for that I'm not skeptical about what they're saying and I'm not dismissing it outright because I just immediately believe that what they're talking about didn't apply to me. So when I
That's
did
actually
listen to
really
them,
interesting that you said that. Like, I'll say maybe the things that were dismissed the most or that were the most against is actually what our soul really wants the most. It's interesting that you, because I don't think I don't know. I mean, I would watch all this and I would be interested. I like remember loving her back then and what she brought on and I could feel the energy of it. And I just knew that there was something so right about it. It's just that so different than what we can understand right now. But maybe that's we could look back now and think everything that people are so dismissive of, maybe to be more open-minded of. That maybe we don't know everything.
mhm,
I don't
uh,
know. I mean, think about if you knew what you know now. And how about if like maybe there's more we could be learning it. I just think it's so amazing is what we don't know, what we don't know.
but hasn't it been quite a journey I guess for me, it has really been an amazing journey uh, for me to be here where I am now with the beliefs I have and the knowledge that I have. And I can't say that, you know, outwardly that my life is
It
amazing or
is. It
outstanding.
is though. It is though.
Internally to me, I mean, for me, it is absolutely. And so that's kind of a rock solid belief. And I'm just grateful that these ideas caught me. They caught me and they embraced me.
But were you
because I wasn't.
suffering? Because I'll say, can you find this? This is I keep on thinking, I keep on thinking, can you actually find this knowledge and this information if you don't suffer? So it's interesting on the outward. I know what you're saying. Maybe the outward life isn't exactly everything you expected it to be. But the gift is that you allow it to be what it is without with still being happy. And then so therefore, that's the genius because that outside stuff doesn't make anyone any happier. It just doesn't. But can you find this? I was thinking this the other day. Could you find this knowing of love, of this connection to something bigger than ourselves, to this knowing that we are all appreciated and loved if you don't suffer prior?
That's a great question. That's
I
such a
don't
great
think so.
question.
I
I
don't think so because I don't think you go searching outside yourself. I think the part of the breakdown is to have the breakthrough. And I think knowing this, I think if you look at both those people, right? Like you just look at those people 30 years ago, I will bet you they had some kind of wound or pain that they had to heal. And then that's where this divine connection came from, or this knowing that we're not alone, or this knowing that there's something so much bigger than us.
I do think that we're here to learn. And I think the big thing we're meant to learn is exactly everything that you just said. How do
Infinite
we
love, infinite love.
but how do we use what we've learned, all the pain that we've gone through, all the trauma, whatever it is? How do we how do we turn that into something meaningful so that we're not just victims of it? We have to we have to open up our hearts. It's our
I think
hearts.
it starts with acceptance. Because I've been thinking a lot about this, right? I can't change anything that happened to me or anything that I've done back there or anything that's happened, but I can allow it to be and I can accept it. And
Right.
I think that is the heart, right? I mean,
Mhm.
when
To
you
keep
love
the heart.
somebody, you just let them be and you remember you fall in love. Think about it, you fall in love. Oh, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. That person is like perfect. You don't find the faults. It's only after maybe a couple months, and then you're like, wait, I don't like this. And they had that thing right beforehand. You had magical acceptance for that person. And then all of a sudden, one day you wake up and that acceptance is just not there. That's a choice.
Yeah, because your heart opens. It opens. It's 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 an amazing feeling. It's the best. It's almost dreamlike.
Well, that's what I do. I practice it every day. I mean, I just, that is if I would say that's the one job I have right now in my life, it's how do I practice living with an open heart, which is so hard, by the way. It is so hard. If I could love everybody, can I practice really love? And that doesn't mean I have to like everybody, but can I practice whoever I'm with, whoever's in my present space, can I love them?
Mhm,
And I can most of the time,
mhm.
actually. If you practice that, it's a really, you'll love it.
Here's what I do practice, and it's a very simple gesture that's part of Kundalini yoga. And when I do it, I really pay attention to it when I do it. And that is simply just kneeling, sitting on your heels and
Okay,
bowing,
try. Okay, sitting on my heels.
sitting on your heels and just bowing, just bringing your forehead to the floor or as close to the floor as you can.
All right, let's see if I can do it. Okay.
It's
Okay.
just simply bowing. And sometimes I have to open my knees so my head will go further. But what that posture ex it manifests is heart over mind. Your heart is more elevated than your mind. And
Okay,
really.
so I'm making prayer hands, right?
Right.
I'm on my knees are a bit spread, and
Mhm.
then I am physically going down, like I'm praying, right? Like on the
Right.
ground.
Right. And so you can put your hands above your head once you reach the ground, but the idea is simply to bring your forehead to the floor or as close to the floor as you can, and just take some deep breaths there, long, deep breaths.
And that it's oh, I see. My
So
heart is higher
is
than my
over.
head. I got
Yes.
it. I got it. I got it. Now, it
So
took me a second to visualize it. I had to do it to visualize it. There.
that's right.
Wait, so
Right.
you do that when you meet somebody, you just go bow down to them?
No, it's just part of my daily
Okay.
practice. You close every you close every Kundalini practice that way. And the idea is, to set yourself up so that your heart is over your mind.
Good.
Like you're leading with your heart. Put your heart first. Don't let the mind interfere.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much because I think our mind and it's so it's so apropos. Is that a word? Apropos for this moment in time because our lower side. So, right, we have this moment in time where we want to get to the higher side of life or the lower side. And the lower side of life is letting your mind rule you. And the higher side would be unconditional love, right? This freedom of it's not necessarily it's this heart opening, but it's seeing the oneness of us all, like seeing that intertwined ability. And so I actually am going to practice that. So here, because I know Kundalini is a lot about numbers. So how many numbers do you do a certain amount of numbers or you just,
So there are lots of exercise and they're timed. They can be 3 minutes or 7 minutes or 11 minutes,
but what about
but
that prayer?
you just say it 3 times to tune in. What and
No, but
what
I mean the one that's like if I'm going down, I'm bowing to have
it's
the heart over.
that's that's all it is. You can say a prayer to yourself when you do it.
But one time, two times, or three times.
You can do it as many times as you want. 3 times is great, but slow, steady breaths. And it's really more than anything the intention that you bring to it, right? So if you say whatever prayer you choose, and then to seal it, to maximize it, you bring your heart over your mind by bowing, right? So you say the prayer and you're really turbocharging your prayer by bowing,
I
and
love
you're doing it for you.
no.
You
So do you keep your hands? Oh, no, I know. I think, but that's it. Aren't we doing everything? At the end of the day, it is you because it's
right,
how you feel. If I don't accept people for who they are, if I want them to be different, if I don't have my heart opened, I'm the only one that's going to suffer.
right. So, and I will say when I was asked to bow, I was resistant to it because in my mind, I said immediately, I'm not bowing to anybody or anything. I don't bow. No, because I thought I was doing it for somebody else. But in actuality, you're bowing for yourself,
Well, don't
and
you think about like history, right? It's like Jesus would wash people's feet,
right.
right? And he's like, you better be washing people's feet
Yes.
or else you're not going to remember who you are. Or like Ram Dass. Wait, do you remember Ram Dass? He wouldn't bow to his master at first. He's like, this is the stupidest thing in the whole world. But he wasn't doing it for the master. He was doing it for himself. And Jesus wasn't washing the foot for the other guy. He was doing it
Hmm.
for himself.
Right.
It's love.
Yeah.
It's like something
Heart.
bigger than you. It's that
Mhm.
we're of service. I mean,
Mhm.
that's so interesting that you were like that. Wait, when was this? I can't even imagine you seem so easy. I feel like you're so easy. Oh, look, my cat's coming to say hello to you.
Oh, this is not Cowboy. Who's this?
This is Peter.
Peter. Oh, that's right, Peter.
Hi.
He's a
Oh,
gorgeous.
oh, he loves you.
He's gorgeous.
Isn't he gorgeous?
Yes, he is.
Talk about his name is Peter, and I used to do like automatic writing about like 10 years ago, and I would write to Peter. And I was like, who's Peter? I don't even know. But I never met anyone named Peter, but I would write Peter, Peter, Peter. And then when it was like right after COVID, my daughters could go get their nails done. It was when they were getting their nails done. It was like May 12th. I'll never forget it. It was May 11th. And I think the nail place opened for the first time. And they're like, "Can we get our nails done?" And I was like, "Sure." And so they went to the pet store afterwards because we were used to picking them up. They went to the pet store and they have like cats that are foster cats, like that need homes. And the cats, they were like, "Can we get this cat?" There's no way. I just had another cat die in my arms. I'm like, I can't handle that. I can't have it again. Like I can't lose something else again. And then they were like, "Well, the cat's name is Peter or Wendy, Peter or Wendy." And I was like, "The cat's name is Peter? Who names a cat Peter?" I'm like, "Oh my God, the cat's ours." I was like, "If the cat's still available tomorrow, then you could go back and we'll adopt it." And lo and behold, that beautiful, perfect cat was ours.
I I
The,
know
the angels send you animals.
they do. My cat and I are bonded. It's
What's your
crazy.
cat's name?
Parker,
Oh,
but
Peter Parker. I do.
Peter Parker. Yes, Parker. Yeah.
Feels very karmic, right? Peter Parker.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely know that we have this unspoken bond with each other. It's such a great experience. I feel so fortunate that I have, you know, a creature in my house who I feel is making me a better person. He's he's teaching me things. I don't know how else to explain it.
But he's teaching you love. I mean, I think it's so
Yes.
interesting how animals, you know, how I was saying about the karmic side of like that we're really supposed to, our mind, but the higher side of that karmic example, right? Virgo is about taking care of animals, of being responsible for something besides ourselves. It's about, I mean, animals are just, they take work. Like I was thinking that, right? Isn't anything good? Okay, why aren't we told this from a very young age? Anything worth having, you'll have to work for.
Hmm.
And then I was thinking about cancer, right? Cancer energy and love, right? Just love, motherly love, unconditional love, something with cancer energy. And then across from it is Capricorn. It's hard work. You do not get love without effort and hard work. It doesn't, it goes hand in hand. It's not separate. And so, I mean, I know that's not the cat energy, but it is somewhat energy is its home. A cat lives at home with you. It's
And I remember people saying, "Why are you getting a cat?" Because it's not like you. And I kept telling them, I have I have this need to take care of something, of I have to care for something. Feed and do all those things. I just have this impulse to do it.
well,
And that's
isn't there something? Did you never have it before? Have you never had a cat or a dog?
no, not
Wait,
since I
what?
was a
When did
kid.
you get your cat? Or wait, that's actually very interesting. When did you get it?
My cat will be 18 in a couple of weeks.
Oh my God, it's a whole nodal cycle. We're talking about the nodes, and it's a whole night nodal cycle. And you know, in Hebrew, God is 18. It's like the same word for God is like eight. It's 18 is like God's number. It's like a divine number. 18 years ago. How old were
Yep.
you? That's so interesting.
Oh, what was I in my 40s? Yeah, mid 40s.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very unlike me to want to do that given,
So have you
my
moved
life at
many
the time.
times and taken the cat with you and it's been on your journey for your whole time? Like, I mean, 18 years, it's made your life so much nicer. Have you been more loving since you got the animal?
I definitely less focused on myself and more focused on the cat,
Yeah, you became
which
a dad. It's so interesting to me about that because I realized that the best thing that ever happened to me was having a child because it was like the greatest moment of my life for me, just because it wasn't about me anymore. And so I think in animals the same way. It's like if there's something besides myself that I have to get over myself, I have to get up, I have to I have to come home, like you have to come home, like you have a big responsibility with an animal, right? You have to clean, you have to get out of the house, you have to clean up after the animal, you have to feed the animal, you have to make money to feed the animal. I had to wake up and take care of a baby. It's the same thing. I think people that are parents of animals, I have as much respect as parents of children because you love your animal as much as you love your child. I mean, you do. I hate to say it, but you do. It's the same feeling.
And they look in your eyes with that completely accepting, loving way, knowing that you're their whole world and there isn't anything you wouldn't do for them.
Yeah. And it hurt. It's an interesting thing. They know it. I say they're angels with fur and they're true love. Well, thank you for being different than who you've always been. And actually, it is like, I wonder if it's something with the cycle because who are we? It is interesting how other people see us and how wrong they were about you because it's exactly who you were actually.
I was, when I was younger, I was far more social and busy. I was very active. In fact, active all the time with my fingers in a lot of pies. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, I would just keep pursuing these different things simultaneously. And in my mind, everything was a giant supermarket where you just grab anything that is shiny that interests you and just then that's what I did for the longest time. And I'm really not that person anymore.
That's so interesting. And you realize that that probably didn't make you happy.
Right. But I had to do all of those things. You know, I had to have all those experiences, and there were a lot of them.
Yeah,
And
I think, but don't you think, I think, isn't it all really divinely perfect? If you didn't have every single one of those experiences, you wouldn't be here today being exactly who you are with the information that you have and the heart that you have.
right. And when you think about how many other possible outcomes there could have been,
I was going to
many,
say something about maybe you got very lucky sometimes. That
yes.
makes sense. Something
But
about you. I feel like maybe you got, I don't know why I'm saying that, but maybe you got very lucky.
but I do think it was again the me within me that was whispering guidance to me. And when I listened to it, it saved me from making really, really terrible decisions. I've made lots of bad decisions. Trust me, I have. But
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if we can't say that what's good or bad now that we could look at it, right? As long as we're still alive. I mean, that's half the battle.
right,
And you seem to be in a very good place.
definitely. And I'm grateful, grateful.
But I wonder if we're supposed to not have judgment anymore of like if we did it right, what is the right decision or the wrong decision, but know that somehow it really is the right decision. But I think it's definitely the right decision that you got Parker and that he's come on
Oh,
this journey with
yes.
you. It makes you want to be
Oh,
home more too, doesn't it?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, so there's this feeling of contentment when he's on my lap or he's resting on my shoulder. I don't have to be anywhere else. There's nothing else that has to be done. This is
And he
perfectly
likes
fine.
you. It's like
Yeah.
there's something about animals you don't the only expectation they have from you is that you feed them and that you are with them. They want to be with you. Do you sit with your cat? That's actually a really interesting thing. Our cat only likes to have somebody eating with it. Like it doesn't like to eat alone. So it likes when you're sitting there. Our cat's a very social cat. Is your cat the same way?
He's got his very particular likes and dislikes. He definitely he will he has a lot of dog-like qualities. Like he'll meow and lead me to what he wants. and he'll expect me to follow him. And if I don't, he'll come back and get me again until so he's when he was younger, he would hear my car coming in the driveway and he would go out on the porch and start meowing because he knew I was coming home, which is very much what a dog would do. So he's
So wait, what was the day you got him? Like what happened that day? Or did you plan on getting him? Like was it something like in your heart was calling it, that little inner voice? What was the
I
reason that you got him that day?
I had a friend and I was talking to him about, I really want a cat. And he was the one who kept saying, "Are you sure? You don't seem, you know what the responsibility is?" And I explained to him, I know I don't, it doesn't sound logical, but I really have this, I really would love a dog, but I want to make sure that that I'm around and that I can care for it. And I don't know if I can do that with a dog, but I know I can do it with a cat. So he connected me to this woman who lived in the valley, and she was this Russian woman who worked as a costumer, and she had made her house, cute little house with all these costumes in it, and she took animals in. She had kittens and dogs, and she had a bluebird in her house that, when we went in, started attacking us, like came right up, started flapping its wings. And she explained to us that he was just protecting her from us. We were intruders in her house. So this little bird was making every effort to protect this woman.
Right.
It was amazing. I mean, he was fearless, and we were giants compared to his size, but it didn't stop him. And he finally got the message that we were friends, not enemies. Anyhow, she had two cats. They were the last of the litter, and I took them both. So the girl passed about 3 years ago, but they were part of the same litter, and they were the last two left, and I took them both.
How did Parker do oh, so you had two, not only did you get one cat, but you brought two cats?
Dude.
Okay, so I love that energy of I love how you said you went to the store and you just had multiple things at one time. I think that's so interesting. And then of course you got multiple cats. Like it's just
Yes.
so you. How did Parker do after she passed?
Well, I
I
watched
did
them
not
both.
take Wendy. It's an interesting thing because Peter had Wendy, and I was like, I can only do one. So it is interesting that you took both. And
Yes.
how did Parker do after he thought he
He,
lost her?
he was very attentive to her when she was sick, and he was very, very off balance for the longest time and would listen for her and look for her. And strangely enough, I know that she visited us a day or two after she passed because we both heard her. We both got up because we both heard her. And of course, she wasn't in the apartment, but her presence was there.
Yeah, she's there. I mean, they don't. I think animals are amazing that they know when an animal's sick. They know.
Yes,
It's
they
it
know.
and it's very different how they respond.
Yes.
Our cat actually was not feeling good a couple weeks ago, and we have a puppy named Cowboy, and Cowboy changed how he interacted with the cat, and it actually turned again when the cat wasn't feeling well. I was very sad and upset, and I thought, oh no, oh no. And then I could look back now a couple weeks and now the cat's better. How maybe they needed that experience to get along better because Cowboy shifted how he was with the cat when the cat wasn't feeling better. And now the cat has a memory of Cowboy being calmer.
Right.
So now it's reacting very different to the dog. It's so interesting to me. And now the cat's feeling better.
Right. Again, he was way more attentive than usual to her when she was sick. They got along fine, but he was watching her
Loved her.
all the time.
His heart was even more open.
Yes. Yeah.
It's what a beautiful story. And I'm so I don't know how lucky that they are that they picked you.
Yeah.
How
I'm
lucky
definitely
you were that you picked them and got over your belief system about who you were. I keep on thinking that who are we? It's like we don't know what we're capable of. And if we keep on thinking of we were like we were yesterday, we're not gonna have the most amazing things happen in our life because we have no clue what's possible. Or else we let go and we kind of let God and we just almost go blindly. Like go to the girl's house blindly.
Yep.
And I think you probably did. You're probably like, what am I doing? Maybe there's a part
Yep.
of it saying, don't do that, don't do that.
Yep. Exactly. And I knew it was a big responsibility and I knew what I was getting into. And I definitely had, you know, apprehensions about my ability to be a cat dad. Uh, but I haven't regretted a second of it. And, again, they made me a better person.
Yeah. My animals all, I think in animals, like bring you, I learned this and it's actually true. I was like going back to my experience with each animal and each animal has they come into your life and they bring you through a specific period of your life. And then when they leave, however it is, right? We never know how an animal leaves, whether it's through passing or sometimes people have to give away an animal. Then whatever happens with that animal, it's actually just they brought you to where you need to be and you're ready for the next part of life. And so I think it is they really do know. They really do know. And it does hurt when it's
Hmm.
to open our hearts into love is not
Hmm.
an easy feat.
Yeah.
It really
I'm,
is.
again, it's another thing that I'm grateful for, very grateful for. I mean, I wouldn't wish it any other way.
Well, I'm so grateful you shared that story. And I'm so grateful your cat's named Parker and that my name's Peter. And it's a superhero, right? Peter Parker.
Peter Parker,
Is it?
Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man. And what's Spider-Man's gifts? Do you know Spider-Man's gifts?
Yeah,
What's
he's got the web, the
and he could
the
climb buildings.
probably, and he swings from his web. And what else? I'm not a real Spider-Man fan. I don't know what else he can do.
Well, wasn't Spider-Man, was that Superman? He saved everything. Wasn't all the superheroes, their whole
Yeah,
purpose
yeah,
is to
right.
to be saving the human mankind, right? It's to make the
Yeah,
world a better place.
protecting us from the bad guys.
Yeah. But it's an interesting thing because it's like the good versus evil, right? It's how important you need to understand the evil to understand the good, and you need to understand the good to understand. And maybe that's it. You know how you said, well, maybe I didn't always make the right decisions, but maybe you have to make the bad decisions so you know what the right decisions are.
I, for me, definitely,
For me too.
definitely.
For me too. So it's been I feel so blessed that I feel like we're like Seinfeld. I don't know what we talk about, but like the whole thing
Yeah,
in Seinfeld, like it's a show about nothing.
right.
And yet it's about everything.
Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of our podcast here. It's a show about maybe nothing, but yet maybe it's about everything.
right. Yes.
Were you a Seinfeld fan?
Yes. Yeah. I was a fan of all those 90s sitcoms. I still watch them when I can because they're so well written and the performances are great and
So smart. And the my daughter watches Friends, I've told you, and like
yeah.
it is so smart. The way
Mhm.
the relationships are and the talking and the communication, it feels so natural. I don't know what happened. They don't seem to be able to do that anymore.
It's funny, it's funny that back then watching television and watching those shows was a cool thing to do. It was considered a pretty cool thing to do. I don't think it's that way anymore with television because everybody watched it, everybody talked about it the next day. It was a shared experience, and you're absolutely right. What happened with Friends was like a lightning strike of genius, right? And you can see that today, watch it anytime. It all worked together and it was brilliantly done.
It was water. But that's interesting. You're right, and it was water cooler talk. It was something to talk about around the water cooler, Yeah, that's so interesting. And it was a shared experience because that was all that was on TV at 5 channels. And so, and you went home and you watched the TV, something to do. And so that, and I think it again, it created us to have some kind of something that made us all familiar with one another.
Right.
There was the knowing that we can all maybe be one. I keep on going back to how
Mhm.
we're supposed to learn how to see our oneness versus our separation.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and everybody was fans of the show, just like they were fans of a sports team or they were fans of a particular character. Yeah, but everybody was invested in it, which is, hard to believe today, but
and it
there,
wasn't separating. It was not a separate, right? I think
right,
now we have investments and it feels very separating. It
right,
separates people. So maybe we'll find something else that, well, it's like 9/11, right? And it's like I hate to talk about that, but it's about 9/11, right? It brought us together.
mhm,
Sometimes things that are bad also bring us together, things that
right,
are good. So
right.
I hope that we find some way as a community or as a culture or as a humankind to open our hearts and find our oneness versus our separation. More cooler talk that
Right.
is of love. So
I believe that the planets are heralding all of what you just said, that we will become more of a human family, we'll become more understanding, we'll we'll we'll
forgiving,
open our heart, hmm?
forgiving.
Forgiving, work with open hearts. I think history is bending that way. That's what I believe. Even though it might not appear
Well,
right now in this moment.
somebody that's listening to the show and making to the end of our show is somebody that is definitely an open-hearted person. So as long as we each practice, either doing our prayers and like doing that cool thing you showed us, like where we put our prayer hands down and go on our knees and go down and have our hearts over our minds, or if we practice opening our hearts with each person we see and being present, I think you're right. I hope you're right, Phil. We'll be from your mouth to God's ears. So I really am so grateful. I'm going to see you next week, and it's such an honor to be with you and share time with you. And I just feel so blessed to know you and to know everybody within this, whoever listens to our podcast, and they will, and the right people are going to find us. So thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. As I've always said, this is such an energizing experience for me every time. I just feel elevated and alive and optimistic and feeling all the feels. And I thank you for that.
Well, I thank you. It takes two to tango. It takes
Okay.
two to tango. I love you. I'll speak to you soon.